or soup. Who is our creator? A look into the six-day creation theory
God
and
or
the primordial soup theory.
Who is our creator? A look into the six-day creation theory and the primordial soup theory.
History of the creation theory.
History of the creation
The
theory.
six-day creation
The
theory
six-day
has
creation
been around
theory
approximately
has been around
2,000 years.
approximately 2,000
This
years.
account can be found in the
This
first
account
two
can be
chapters
found
of
in the
Genesis
first two
in the
chapters
Bible.
of Genesis in the
These
Bible.
two chapters
These two
and all the other chapters
as well
of
as all the other
Genesis were written by
chapters in
Moses.
Genesis were written by Moses.
History of the primordial soup
History of
theory.
the primordial soup theory.
Russian chemist A.I.
Russian
Oparin,
chemist A.I.
English
and
geneticist J.B.S. Haldane both came up with the theory in 1920. What's interesting is that both men came up with the theory on their own. In 1950, Stanley Miller, a chemist, and Harold Urey, a physicist, conducted an experiment to test the theory. Creation. Genesis 1 tells us that the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Day 1, about 6,000 years ago. God creates light and darkness. He separates the two to create night and day. Day 2. God made the waters separate with a vault in between the two. This vault was called the sky. Day 3. God made dry ground from water. He then gathered the waters and called them seas. God also made vegetation on the land.
God also made vegetation on the dry land.
Day 4. God made the sun, moon, and stars. He did this to make the day full of light and make the night darker. Day 5. God made every animal in the waters and in the air. Day 6. God created animals on the earth.
He also made
Adam, the first man on earth.
He also created Eve, the first woman.
Day 7. God rested on this day and blessed it. Primordial soup theory. This theory states that millions of years ago, the earth was filled with different gases and chemicals. These chemicals were mixed to make an amino acid, which could be used to create life. Alexander Oparin and John Haldane both stated that life began in oceans. They believed when certain gases and energy came together, amino acids could be formed. Stanley Miller and Harold Urey tested the theory in 1953. Electric shocks were used to make amino acids and other compounds. Pick a side. In my opinion, I believe that a six-day creation is a better explanation for how the earth began than the primordial soup theory. I believe this since the experiments made required constant lightning strikes, which were very uncommon on early Earth. With further research, it has been discovered that there was less methane on early Earth than we thought. This is a big deal since this would greatly reduce the number of organic molecules, which would also reduce the amount of amino acids.
Amino acids could not be formed.
Evidence for a young Earth. Evidence has shown that a young Earth, as shown in the creation theory, is a better explanation than Earth being millions of years old, as shown in the primordial soup theory. For example, galaxies are always moving at a fast pace. If the Earth was millions of years old, the galaxies would not be in their original clusters. They would be broken apart. Also, research has been made on the shrinkage of the sun. It shrinks about 5 feet an hour. At this rate, 50,000 years ago, the sun would have been so big it would vaporize the oceans, making life on Earth impossible. 100,000 years ago, the sun would have been twice that size. So as my presentation draws to a close, you have seen the flaws of the primordial soup theory and its experiments. We also looked at two examples that prove that the theory is not realistic. The creation theory can be hard for some people to believe, but there are many things that prove we are living on a young Earth, as in the two examples in the presentation showed. It takes faith to believe that God created everything, and trust in the Bible that the creation story was written accurately. But I have belief in God that he did create everything,
and trust in the Bible,
and I trust in Moses that he wrote the creation
accurately.
story accurately.
So as my presentation draws to a close, you have seen the flaws of the primordial soup theory and its experiments. We also looked at 2 examples that prove that the theory is not realistic. The creation theory can be hard for some people to believe, but there are many things that prove that we are living in a young Earth, as shown in the 2 examples in the presentation. It takes faith also to believe that God created everything, and trust in the Bible that the creation story was written accurately. But I do believe that God did create everything, and I have trust in the Bible that Moses wrote the creation story accurately.